Everybody, what's up? Welcome back. How's everybody doing? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. How's everybody going? How's everybody doing? I hope great. If you were celebrating yesterday, happy Juneteenth to you. We're going to continue that with the color of my plate that we're going to plate on today. Well, that's about it. But today, what we're working on is one of my favorite dishes. You know, um, you can use it as a snack. You can use it for lunch, dinner. I mean, you can use it for whatever you want, honestly. But it is arancini, or arancini. I don't know. Depends on where you're from, right? Who you are, or some people just say rice balls. I mean, it really just depends on what you want to call it. To each his own. You know what I mean? Tomato, tomato. You dig? But that's what we're doing today. And we're doing a vegan version, of course, because this is the Everyday Vegan channel. So, welcome. All right. My name is Ed Harris. If today's your first time joining me, I want to say welcome. And for all my family, for all my peeps, my people, welcome back. All right. Let's get into this juicy, delicious situation. All right. Normally, this dish, okay, first of all, this is like a classic Italian dish, like hands down. It don't get more Italian than this dish. All right. But yours truly, we always have to put a spin on it, right? We always have to make it our own, make it uniquely our own. All right. So one, it's plant-based because arancini normally has it like ham, it has some kind of meat in it or something like that. So instead of ham, we're going with sausages that I actually made myself with my hands. All right. And we're going with some delicious shiitake mushrooms. Now, I know shiitake doesn't scream Italian, but hey, like I said, it's always going to be a twist. You know what I mean? So let me go over all the other ingredients. We have some all-purpose flour, aka AP flour. We have some Japanese breadcrumbs. All right, panko. Okay, this is like, to me, hands down, the best breadcrumbs you can ever use in your life. And if you've ever had katsu, which is a Japanese dish that is breaded with that breadcrumbs, like, you know what I'm talking about. Like, this breadcrumbs creates the perfect texture, crunch breading. So swap out whatever breadcrumbs you have and get you some Japanese breadcrumbs, and you will be happy you did. All right. Next up, we have some vegan parm. We have some beautiful English peas, dry thyme, a little bit of paprika, onions and garlic, and we have our milk. We also have, yeah, I guess that's it. So Tuscany, because we're making an Italian dish. So this seasoning is available if you're looking for a really nice, unique, slightly different Italian seasoning. Then you definitely want to check this out. It's available with the link right here on my channel. All right, and sometimes I like to get fancy with my dish. So I brought out some truffle oil that I'm thinking about adding to this. I don't know yet. We'll see how I feel. All right. So I'm going to turn my saute pan on. Actually, I need to switch my cam. So give me 1 sec. Let me go grab my tripod. I know I was forgetting something. You heard me running? I was like, all right, tripod is on deck. Let's make it higher. Okay, let's do one more so we can point it down. All right, now let's get this phone from here, right, and put it right here. Interesting. So it's frozen, huh? Let me see. Are we getting it back? Let's see. Bear with me, people. All right, connected to MacBook Air. That should be fine. Here we go. Technology, man. Gotta be careful, otherwise it'll get you. All right, so I'll bring that down like that. Right, and then what I'll do, I'll bring this closer here, raise that up. There we go. Perfect. All right. Thanks for your patience. I was like, why is there two of me? All right. Let's crank that on. All right, we're gonna get that nice and hot, and then we'll get to it. So while that's getting hot, I'm actually going to talk about this baby right here. So for you to really make this dish, you need to have your rice cooked ahead of time, and it needs to be cold. All right, so this way it can do what it do. Okay, it needs to be fully cooked, and it needs to be fully cooled down, so you can work with it. All right, so you can see my little bay leaf in here, and this is just arborio rice. All right, which is the only kind of rice you should use to make this dish. All right, it's a specific rice known for this kind of food. All right, you make risotto, you do arancini, you do, it's specific dishes that you have to use this rice. It's like making fried rice and not using jasmine rice. You know what I mean? Or basmati, right? So this is cooked. All I did was cook some onions until they were translucent, add the rice to it, coat it with the oil, deglaze with a little bit of vino, right? White wine, something dry, nice. And then touch of salt, all right? And just added my vegetable broth, water, cooked it down really nice, got it where it needed to be, and that was it, all right? Spread it out so it can cool down. And when you cook this rice, you want to cook it not al dente, but it should have just a little bit of bite to it, not too much. All right. And the other thing is, with this dish, you can bake it or you can fry it. It's totally up to you. If you have health issues and you have to stay away from oil and frying, then you can 100% bake these and they will be totally fine. Okay, I'm gonna turn this down. Mamma mia. It's like I need the Mario theme song now. All right, we're gonna put that there. So we're just gonna cook this until it is slightly golden. We don't want it to burn. We don't want it to, get bitter. All right. So medium flame, and it's almost golden. All right. Now I'm gonna add my sausages. All right. And these sausages, they're fully cooked already. So literally all I'm doing is getting some heat through them so they can get a little bit of caramelization, not too much. All right. I'm gonna switch this camera out so we can get the bigger picture of the cooking. Yes. Move this out of the way. Bring this over here. Turn that there. Come on, tripod. Work with me. There we go. Put this right here. All right. Much better. Much better. All right. Okay, sausages are almost there. I'm gonna crank the fire up just a little bit more. I'm gonna add just a little bit more oil so I can add the mushrooms. Some extra virgin olive oil, of course. Now mushrooms are going in. And the way I'm doing this, because there's two ways you can do this dish, right? You can cook your flavorings, your seasonings, your filling, whatever you want to call it. You can cook this and then you can mix it into the rice, right? Mix it into the rice and then make the balls, bread them, fry them, bake them. Or you can make the filling like this, which is what we're going to do today. I'm still up in the air about which way I want to go, you know. But you can do it that way, and then literally just take, I'll show you, flatten the rice, put some of this in the middle, ball it up, and do that. So when you bite into it, there's like a filling, you know, so there's like a nice little surprise in the middle. All right, so I think we're gonna go that route just because, you know, it's cool, right? So we just want to cook the mushrooms until they start rendering and they lose some of that moisture. All right, get rid of that. I'll add a touch bit of oil here and crank this up to max. And you want to make sure that your mushrooms is fully cooked, because since we're going to be putting this into the middle, right, it needs to be cooked, because it's going to cook, of course, being deep fried, but it's going to be a different flavor and texture. So getting all of the flavor here and now is super important. All right, what's going on here? Get this out of the screen. Okay, cool. Okay, back to the mushrooms. It smells so good. You know, the umami, the nuttiness of the shiitakes, just amazing. So now I'm going to add my dry thyme. I'm going to just crush this up just a little bit so the leaves are not chunky. Put that in. We're going to put our paprika. And then we're going to give this a nice little stir. Gives it a nice color. Smells amazing. So this is pretty much ready. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to add my peas. All right, and you know, it's English peas. These are frozen. If you can get fresh, that's great. I'm going to just add just a touch of water just to kind of bring everything together. Not too much. Ooh, nice. All right, so this is done, but we need it to cool down completely. All right, so I'm going to turn this off. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the chef's table. And you can always on mic and say hi or ask a question, you know, whatever fancies you. But thanks for coming up. All right, so that's done. Let's move this out of the way. Put that over there. All right, let's clean. Yes. Okay, so we have this here. Camera is good. Let's straighten this. Yes. Okay, that works. Okay, we're gonna just spread this out like this so it can cool down quickly. All right. The cool thing is, since we're putting this in the middle, we don't have to wait for it to be super, super cold. All right. So let's get everything else ready. I'm going to add my Parmesan cheese. Of course, this is vegan, right? I'm going to just add that to it and fold it in, because all of this, of course, is flavor, right? Yummy. So you can serve this with like a really nice sauce, you know, like a nice tomato sauce, you know, that will go really well with this dish. And we have some of that. A really nice smoky tomato sauce will go really nice. So if you have some on hand, definitely use it. And if you don't have any on hand, I suggest you get some and use it. Otherwise, you can season your rice heavily, season this heavily, so you don't need anything else. I like to dip, you know, but that's just me. All right, so let's get this breading station ready. First things first for breading, you know, I'm gonna throw this into the freezer while we get the breading ready. We need some room. Boom, that goes there. All right, we got our plate, bowl for the sauce. We got the tomato sauce there. All right, so first things first, we're gonna do flour. right? Then we're gonna go with milk, and then we're gonna go with breadcrumbs, right? So since we're not cooking anymore, let's switch the camera so we can kind of see. Okay, that works for now. All right, so we have our breading station right here. Okay, I'll put this here. Ta-da-da-ta. Okay, rice. I'm gonna turn on my fryer, right? So that can get nice and hot. Okay, because that's super important. Okay, so rice, flour, milk, crumbs. All right, and then let me get another plate. So after we roll them, we can put them here so we can get them fried. All right. The filling, I will get. And we're gonna use a smaller spoon because this spoon is massive and we don't need it right now. So oil is getting hot. Any questions so far? Um, so handling this rice, it can get sticky, it can get messy. It's just one of the things that goes with this kind of dish. If you have gloves, you can use it just in case you need to do something, grab something. You don't need to wash your hands. You just take off the gloves and, you'll be good to go. The other thing I would suggest doing is maybe spraying your gloves with some, we're pretty much just lubing up the gloves, right? So this way, when we work with the rice, it's not sticky everywhere. You know what I mean? So we're gonna take about, let's say, a half a cup of rice, make it into a ball. So maybe we'll switch the camera when I change my gloves again, right? So about a half a cup of rice, right? And we're gonna flatten it, right? And you see how it's kind of sticking together? That's how you know you did it correctly. All right. This rice is very starchy, but you have to cook it the right way for it to stay starchy. So this way it sticks together like this, right? So it's a nice little bowl. And then what I do is I take a spoonful of the filling, and it's okay if some sticks out on the ends and the sides, not a big deal. All right. So we do that, and then we just turn it into a ball, right? And you just keep molding it and you just keep playing with it. And like I said, if a little bit of your filling kind of sticks out, don't worry about it. And if you want to make these bigger or smaller, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you want to make them bigger or smaller, you totally can. It's up to you. But these they just come out really amazing. So you make a bunch of them and you just leave them on the flour, and we'll do that. So let me switch this so you can get a better view, and just put back on gloves again. All right, because that's why you guys are here, to really see what we're doing. All right, so I'll use this camera and then we can work with it right here. Okay, but this stuff, it comes out so delicious. And this is one of those recipes where you can really have fun with it and really play around, right? And when I say play around, I mean you can totally do different kinds of filling. Like you can do pumpkin. Of course, it's not going to be your traditional arancini or, Italian rice ball or anything like that. But the whole point of cooking is to have fun. You know what I mean? It's to create flavors that you love. So it doesn't necessarily always have to be traditional. As long as you like it and you enjoy it, that's what you should do. Okay. So that's my approach to cooking. Like I'm a purist for certain things, but then I also love to experiment. That's the whole point. Right. So that's what we're doing here. So get your filling in, right? And then you just cover it up just like that, right? How easy is that? You move the rice around, you squeeze it, and it doesn't have to be a perfect ball. Like no one's judging you. You're not on chop. Get that? So it's okay if it looks a little, you know, not perfect. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna do two more of these just so we have enough to make a nice plating, and then we'll put these into the fryer. All right. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful. So here we go. My goodness, I love these. So good. And a lot of times you go to Italian restaurants, this will be like one of the antipastis or something like that, something real nice and light, bar snack. It's always, I mean, and honestly, don't get me wrong, not everyone makes it good, unfortunately. Either the rice is not cooked enough, and this particular kind of rice, if it's not cooked properly, it is not enjoyable because it's a much bigger rice than, let's say, jasmine or basmati or Uncle Ben's or whatever it is that you use. So you definitely want to make sure that it's cooked properly, right? And cooked thoroughly, okay? Because you're going to end up with some really crunchy and not the kind of crunchy you want, okay? So be very mindful of that. So when you're cooking your rice, just keep testing it. Take a spoon, take a little bit, eat it, see what it tastes like. If it's sticking to your teeth, it needs to cook a little bit longer. If it's soft, then obviously you're good to go, but you don't want to overcook it because you don't want mush, right? You want to have the rice be able to stand up to, thank you. You want the rice to be able to withstand the cooking, the breading, and all of that stuff. You don't want mush, all right? We're not making baby food, okay? So this is the last one. I like to do odd numbers when I'm doing food, so the plating is very, you know, we can make really nice plating. You know what I mean? So press that in, get rid of the sides there. And this is our last one. Our oil is nice and hot. I can smell it. And I'll tell you a secret. Don't tell anybody. So my fryer, what I have in there is onions, bay leaves, two whole Scotch bonnets, right, that I cracked, and that fries with everything. So it flavors my oil, it seasons my oil. So anything I fry in my fryer always comes out amazing because of the season that I do with it. All right. And this is something you can try at home if you have a little fryer, even if you're frying in a pot. Just throw some onions in there or shallots, throw some garlic, and I'm telling you, it's gonna change the way your food comes out of your fryer. I promise you. All right. So let's move this out of the way so you guys can see how we're gonna bread this baby up real quickly. All right. So I am going to, should I switch cameras? Yeah, I think so because you can't really see. So let's do this. We'll do that. Put this one here because I don't want to change my gloves again. Okay, so super important. You want to make sure that you get flour all over these, okay? And you want to be gentle because we don't want to crack them. We don't want to split them. All right. So a nice light coating. All right. And you can do all of them at once. This way, when you start dipping into the milk, you're not going back and forth and you're making a big mess. All right. And then you're creating a bunch of clumps. You know how breading gets. All right. So these are nice and dusted. All right. That's the perfect word for these. They're dusted really nice. See? All right. Now we go into the milk. And the milk is basically just to get that breading wet so it can now stick onto the breadcrumbs. That's the only reason we're putting them into something wet. All right. So the breadcrumbs will stick. And you always want to make sure that you keep one hand clean and one hand wet. All right. Just in case you need to do something. Okay. So don't go in with both hands dipping into the milk. All right. If you have gloves on, then okay, maybe it's fine. But if you don't have gloves, then you definitely want to make sure that you keep one hand clean. All right. So these are good to go. I'll move that to the side, move that over there. And then I'm going to just roll this into the amazing breadcrumbs right here. Yes, yes. Woo-hoo. I'm so excited about these. So excited about these. All right. So when you're done, it should look like this, like a snowball. All right. Um, totally breaded. You want to make sure that the Japanese breadcrumbs is all over it. All right. We don't want any empty spots. So when we fry this up, it looks even. They all look the same. All right. And if you want, you can kind of squeeze the breadcrumbs on it a little bit. That is totally fine too. I'm going to drop that into the fryer. Another one. Drop that one in. Here we go. And when you put it into the oil, don't just drop it from very high, okay? You want to kind of ease it in, okay? And the cool thing about these is that you can make them ahead of time. So let's say you have a party, you have family coming over, guests, whatever, and you want to make this, you totally can make it ahead of time and leave it like this and put it into the freezer, right? And then you just pull them out and fry them, okay? And how do we warm them up or keep them warm? Put your oven at like 200 degrees and 250 and just have them in there. Okay, they'll stay nice and warm and they'll be good to go. All right, so let's switch this. Actually, we'll leave that there, put that to the side. Now let's wipe this down really quickly. Gotta have a clean workspace, guys. Gotta. It's super important. It tells everything about the person cooking your food, you know? You go to somebody's house and their kitchen is a hot mess. I don't know if I want to eat there. You know what I mean? Like, I definitely don't want to eat there because if your kitchen is really dirty, that's a no-no. You know what I mean? Like, you should clean as you go. You know, you should keep your kitchen clean, you know, all that good stuff, right? So this is a super smoky, delicious tomato sauce. All right. I just love it. I absolutely love it. So that's that. We're going to put this to the side. All right. Let's see how these babies are looking. And when you're putting your spider or whatever it is that you're using to take them out, be gentle pushing them in, because if you go in there too fast or not paying attention, you will literally break them open, and then you're going to have a big mess in your oil. All right, because you know what's going to happen if you do that, right? So be very careful with that. We need some green for this. I'm going to go outside on my terrace. I'm going to get some basil because after all, we're doing Italian food. So basil or parsley. Let me see if I have parsley in the fridge. If we have parsley in the fridge, then I don't need to get basil. All right, boom, we got some parsley in the fridge. Perfect. So parsley or basil or even both will be fine. All right, I'm gonna wash this real quick. All right, give it a nice little shake. Put that down on the side there. And then let's go get these babies out of here. So you see, this is what I was talking about my oil. See the chilies? I'm telling you, game changer. Game changer. All right, these look amazing, guys. Woo-hoo. I can't wait for you to see them. I can't wait for you to see them. All right, let me get all of the aromatics out of the oil so it makes it easier for me to get them. Let's see, should we cook them a little longer? Let's give them 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Okay, that's it. Can't wait anymore. I'm too excited. Ooh, and they're so heavy. All right. Oh, man. Look at these. Look at these. Look at these. Look at these. Ooh, they look so good. I'm so happy. They look so good. Thank you. Thank you. These are perfect. All right. Nice light breadcrumbs, not a lot of heavy breading. Like, this is exactly how it's supposed to be. You can make these smaller, you can make them bigger. If you want to make them smaller than this, then I suggest taking the filling, mixing it with the rice, and then using a scoop, right? Using ice cream scoop, or any kind of like a scoop like this, right? Like a scoop like this, and then you can just scoop them, bread them, and this way you don't have to worry about putting the filling in the middle and rolling it up and all of that. So that's another way that might be a little bit easier if it's the first time you're trying this and you don't want to go too crazy, or you don't think you can do it this way. Then just mix everything together. I promise you, it's not gonna make it taste any less amazing. All right. So these just go in right here, just like that. See, this is why we did 5, right? 4, no big deal, but 5, we get to stack them. All right. Plating is all about height. Okay. It's all about height. So I'm going to take this parsley and just do something like that. Like, that's it. We're done. I mean, okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. We are done. Our rice, peas, mushroom is complete. I love it. It looks great. We have our dipping sauce. We have our, I can't wait to tear this up. It's hot. This is the only reason why I haven't tried it yet. Okay. But trust me, I'm like, I am literally waiting to jump in there and just, I haven't had lunch yet. So lunchtime. But I need to take a picture so I can post it on here. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow we're doing jicama. That's our vegetable highlight, and you definitely need to come check that out because I'm going to be doing a recipe that I learned at Budokan when I worked there in New York City. But of course, it's going to be slightly different because we're plant-based. And when I worked there, I wasn't. And of course, Budokan is not a vegan restaurant. So I'm going to be doing my twist on it, but it's going to be amazing. Think of fermented black beans, jicama, cilantro, cucumbers. Like, I'm telling you, it's going to be super amazing. And this is a dish that you can put on top of your salads. You can eat it as a side. It's really cool and really tasty and just super fresh. It's perfect for especially the summer and the spring. All right. But I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today. Thanks for rocking with me always. I hope you enjoyed this stream. The recipe, thank you. The recipe for this is already uploaded and it's attached to this stream. So you have everything you need to be great. And yeah, what else can I say? But thank you so much. Cheers. Happy Tuesday. I'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. This is Chef Ed, and I'm out. All right. Later.